Hey guys, my name is Justin. This is my presentation right here. Primary purpose of this presentation is to show how transformers can work as step up and step down transformers, kind of mirroring what they do in power transmission to reduce the amount of current that has to be transmitted through the power lines. So what I did is I have a three-way switch here. They can distribute electricity through one of two different circuits. The first circuit is just a regular piece of Romex. I stripped a little bit of it so that we can use a clamp-on ammeter to see how much amps are being drawn. And the second circuit is going to a step-up transformer. It steps it up to 480 volts, and then it goes back to a step-down transformer, which steps it back down to 120 volts. So that we can plug it into this receptacle and see the amp draw on this circuit instead. So everything's plugged in right now. I'll put my clamp-on ammeter on here, and as soon as it starts up, I'll flip the switch, and we can see that we're getting about 0.8 amps drawn by the fan. Just under normal circumstances. If I unplug it into the other circuit, we're going to clamp the high voltage section of it and flip the switch. And we're going to see we're getting about 0.2 amps, which is a quarter of the amp draw because we have 4 times the voltage. So not only does this kind of illustrate the basic principles of step up and step down transformers and kind of mirrored power transmission, it also shows the function of a three-way switch, how it can go through 2 different sets of carrier wires, and it also just shows the basic installation of various electrical devices. And that's about it. Question?
What if you clamp it to the output of the second transformer? What would you get?
So I would get 0.8 here, which would be the same as right here. In theory, it should be, well, yeah, right about there, it should be about 0.8 too, because we're drawing the same amount with the fan. Realistically, we're getting 0.6. I think what ended up happening was I used transformers that were intended for a control circuit rather than like an actual full-size load, so I think we're getting a little bit of power loss across them, but the principle is the same. In theory, we should get 0.8 there, and in theory, we should get maybe slightly more here because of the loss across the transformers.
So you were saying you connected a three-way switch to control 2 different circuits or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll switch. We have the single common input right here, and it's going off to either this receptacle or going through this circuit here.
What was the cost of your project?
Cost, the transformers weren't cheap. I think they were like 40 bucks a pop, and then all the other stuff from Home Depot was about 25 bucks. And then I had some miscellaneous things around the house, like the plywood, the fasteners, all that stuff was just kind of negligible.
No other questions? Thank you very much.